subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! And a boy!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. On this Friday night here in Australia, it is 11:28 p.m. So I do apologize for the late stream, but we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a bit of a Premier League season preview. Obviously, the main sport I watch is the NRL, and the NRL season is coming to an end very soon. It's getting close to the finals. So I need something in the off-season to keep me going. I need something to watch. I need to get into something. And I do enjoy the Premier League. I am a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Chelsea. In case you didn't know who I support, I do support Chelsea in the Premier League. And I feel like with the NRL content, the rugby league content, probably going to get a little bit quiet and I guess stale for some people in the off season. I need something to go off. So I think the Premier League is going to be outstanding. I'm looking forward to it. The season begins in about 5 hours. So the season opener kicks off at 5 a.m. between Burnley and Man City. So we got about 5 hours. So if you're not familiar with the Premier League, then that's fair enough, because obviously majority of my viewers that are subscribed to the channel, they are rugby league fans. Some of them may watch the Premier League. I don't know. You guys can let me know. I can see a few people in the chat that may watch the Premier League, may watch the soccer or not, the football, soccer. I call it soccer because I'm a rugby league nerd. But anyway, let's get into it. Now, my knowledge of the Premier League is getting better. I'm not the fucking greatest expert in the world. Like, I'm not going to tell you that this team can't do this or that team can't do that, because as we saw last year in the Premier League, my beloved team, Chelsea, were expected to be one of the contenders to push Man City, but ended up coming 12th. Everyone thought Bournemouth would get relegated, and they didn't. Everyone thought Leicester wouldn't go down, and they did. No one thought Arsenal would finish second, but they did. It's just crazy. You just don't know what's going to happen. You get a fair idea on the teams, but it's so unpredictable. Like, obviously, Man City are favourite to win it again, and you've got your relegated teams like Luton will probably go back down, but you just don't know what's going to happen. But without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hello to the chat. Hello, CJ. Hello to York, SS Storm fan. Who else is here in the live chat? Everyone's tuning in. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get into this live stream. We're going to go into the Premier League season ladder prediction. Everyone's been doing a ladder prediction. It's good fun. 20 teams, and you try to predict where they all finish. So, unfortunately, I think these 3 teams are going to get relegated. So, obviously, the bottom 3 get relegated to the championship. And if you finish top 3 in the championship, you come up. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but let me know if I'm wrong. But anyway, the first team I think that will be relegated in last position is Luton. Look, they did extremely well to get out of the championship. They did extremely well to get out of it, but I don't think Luton are going to stay up for very long. I think they're going to probably go back down. They won't win many games. I think Luton can draw a few games this year against some decent mid-tabled sides, but let's face it, they're in for a long season, Luton. Second last. I think Sheffield's going down. I really do. I know a few people that have done their predictions. A lot of people have been talking about Sheffield maybe surviving relegation, but I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced that Sheffield are going to survive. Um, they're one of the teams that I think could go down. And I wouldn't be surprised if they survived either. So we'll see what happens, but I think Sheffield are going down. And the other team that I think is going down might be unpopular, but in 18th, Nottingham Forest, bye-bye. I think they're going down too. I know everyone's going to say, where's Everton? Where's Burnley? Where's Bournemouth? I think those three can get a few more wins on the board, and I think Nottingham are going to really struggle this season. I think they're going to I think they're going to go poor. I'm just not convinced that their players are going to be good enough. So they could survive. Last year, they were pretty lucky to survive. I think they're going to go down. So Nottingham in 18th. Now, the teams that I think will just survive relegation, 17th, we got Burnley. Look, a few people have actually said that Burnley will survive, and some said they might go down. I think Burnley will win enough to be safe. I think they're going to be similar to what happened to Everton. Everton obviously just survived last year. It came down to the final day, I think, for Everton to survive. Burnley, I reckon Burnley could be bottom three for most of the year, then get out of it late. A bit like what Bournemouth did. Bournemouth were looking like they were going to get relegated, and then they got a couple of draws, and they got a couple of wins on the board, and they survived. I think they had a couple of draws with United, Chelsea. They might have knocked off someone as well, like a decent team. I think they had a draw with was it Arsenal late in the year? Or Man City? One of the two. I know it was one of them. So, look, I think Burnley will be just surviving, but I don't think they're going to go any higher than that. 16th, we've got Everton. Everyone's probably thinking, why aren't Everton lower? Well, look, I think Everton have potential, and their attack can be good at times. Like I've watched a lot of Everton games over the last year or so, and there's been times there where they've won games at 3-2 and 4-2, and they've had a couple of flukish wins in the past to survive. I know it wouldn't be surprising if they did go down, and if they do go down, then you're probably thinking, well, that was a year or two overdue. I feel like Everton, they'll do enough and they'll survive, but if they get injuries to key players, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we'll see how Everton go, but I've got them in 16th. 15th, we've got Fulham. Look, I'm not really... Look, Fulham for me, I think they're not going to do anything special. They're probably going to be around this 15th, 16th. They could be in the relegation battle, but I think they have enough quality to survive. But a bit like Everton, if they get key injuries, if some of their big-name players do go down, they're going to be down the bottom. So, look, you can't put everyone in the relegation zone, but I feel like Fulham are going to do enough to get away because I think they're capable of having a few draws with a couple teams, above them that they might be able to have a draw against, a Liverpool or Manchester United or maybe even a Newcastle or Tottenham or something. That could even knock off a Tottenham. Who knows? But I think Fulham will be right. I think they'll be okay. They'll be shit to watch, but they'll do enough. 14th, we've got the Wolves. Look, the Wolves, some people reckon that they're going to go fairly well this year, the Wolves. I don't know. I think they're going to be around the same. Like last year, I think they were 13th or 12th. They weren't 12th. Chelsea were 12th. I think they were around this position last year, the Wolves. They have some decent attack, and their defense sucks. It really does. So, look, I'm intrigued by what the Wolves are going to do this year. Really intrigued, but I think they're going to end up in 14th position. We'll see what happens with the Wolves. 13th. My surprise packet of the year is Bournemouth. Bournemouth will not be relegated, and Bournemouth are actually going to be decent this year. I think a lot of people have been saying that last year was a fluke. They were fucking lucky to avoid relegation, blah, blah, blah. I actually don't mind Bournemouth. I know they're inconsistent and that they're hard to get a read on, but I think Bournemouth are actually going to be somewhat okay. Like, I can see them winning against a few teams above them that I have. I think that they're capable of winning on their day against some really decent teams. During the season, I, I could see Bournemouth beating a Tottenham or beating like a Chelsea or one of these sort of teams. But I honestly think Bournemouth are going to be better than what everyone is suggesting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Bournemouth. I think they're going to be all right. 12th, Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace is going to have another typical Crystal Palace season. They're going to be right on the mid-table. They're going to be probably between 10th and 13th. Nothing is surprising. They do tend to surprise here and there. They have a lot of draws, Crystal Palace. It's usually the theme of how they go. It's either they have a lot of draws or they have a couple of tight losses. I'm really intrigued to see how Crystal Palace go this year. I think they're going to be probably the same as what they are every year. There's no real expectation. If they get low, then there'll be pressure on the managers. So we'll see what happens. But 12th, Crystal Palace. 11th, Brentford. A lot of people that I listen to that actually have really good knowledge on the Premier League, they are rating Brentford up like they're going to be in the top 6, top 8. Until it happens, I'm just not convinced. Again, they're going to be a bit like Crystal Palace, probably going to be another typical Brentford season. They'll probably be around the same position as they are most years. They'll be 10, 11, 12, around that table. They are definitely capable of doing some things that people would expect them to, drop. But a bit like what CJ says in the live chat, they're losing Ivan Toney. That's a massive blow for them. They should do enough. Like, they won't be down the bottom. There's no way. If they are down the bottom, then that'll just be embarrassing for them. So, look, I think Brentford will be all right. They'll be about 11th. Be another typical Brentford year. We'll see. 10th, West Ham. Another team that seems to, occasionally jump up into 6th, 5th position on the table one year, then drop back down to around 10, 11, and jump back up to 7th, 8th again. And they just seem to always do the same thing, West Ham. I don't know what you want me to say about West Ham. They're just the same old shit. They're a team that will probably finish between 7th and 11th, and anything else would be surprising. If they finish higher than 7th, then whatever. But I think they're going to come 10th. I think they're going to be right on the mid-table. Because obviously you've got 20 teams. I think 10th is about right for West Ham. If they finish higher, then bravo. If they finish lower, then there'll be questions that will need to be asked. 9th, Aston Villa. Everyone's hyping them up. Relax on Aston Villa. I know they've got a lot of potential. Their attack last year was probably the most exciting in the Premier League. Obviously, you had Man City with Haaland and whatever. Their attack was outstanding. I'm telling you right now, last year, Aston Villa were one of the best teams to watch in the Premier League. They were good. Aston Villa were very good to watch last season. I think it's going to be very fascinating to see how Aston Villa do go. Some people reckon that they're going to finish top 6, 7th, 8th. They could go up on the rise, a bit like what Newcastle did last year, where they just improved. I'm intrigued with Aston Villa. I've got a few teams that I'm going to keep a close eye on this year, because obviously you can't watch every game because a lot of them are all on at the same time and whatever, and the time zone for us here in Australia is crazy. But Aston Villa are going to be in one of the sleeper teams I've got. I'm going to keep a close eye on them this year. I think they're going to be pretty good to watch. So Aston Villa in 9th. 8th, Tottenham. I could have put them lower. I'm not going to lie. I think Tottenham are absolutely fucked. The news that came out, I think it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Australian time. Harry Kane, gone. He's leaving. The whole trade deadline thing that's going on, the transfer fee shit. This is a huge blow. Now, obviously, Son is going to have to do a lot more now. And that's probably a good thing for him because now he'll get a lot more involved, get more ball, and he'll be probably right up there with the top goal scorer of the year. But he'll be up there for sure. I think Harry Kane is a gigantic blow. Tottenham always seem to bottle it. They're always a team that's going to be between 4th and 8th, 4th and 10th, whatever. I think losing Harry Kane drops them. Originally, I had Tottenham coming about 6th, 7th. But now that they've lost Harry Kane, I've got him in 8th. I could even put him lower, to be completely honest, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to put him in 8th position. But losing Harry Kane, they're fucked without Harry Kane, man. They're going to have a tough season. 7th, Brighton. I'm really looking forward to Brighton. I think this team is on the rise, man. They were very good to watch last year, Brighton. They were great to watch last year, Brighton. They were very impressive last season. What did they come last year? Was it 5th? They had a great year last year. I think they just missed out in top 4. They've got a good team building, and I think they've got potential. They could easily finish 5th, 6th, potentially even 4th. Wouldn't shock me at all. I think Brighton are on the rise. I've got them 7th because I think the other teams are a little bit better. But if Brighton finish higher than 7th, wouldn't be shocked. If Brighton finish any lower than 9th this year, that would be a failure in my opinion. So Brighton, I reckon I'll end up in 7th position. 6, Liverpool. Everyone's raving on about Liverpool, blah, 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 the bounce back. Nothing much is going to change, I don't think. I don't think Liverpool are going to be in the top 2, top 3. I don't see Liverpool competing with Manchester City. I just don't. I don't know if they're better than Arsenal. It's weird with them because 2 years ago, Liverpool were in the same position as Chelsea, where they were the two teams pushing Man City for the Premier League. Last year, for whatever reason, they had a horrible start to the year and things just didn't go to plan. They had a great late season run where they ended up coming, 5th in the end, I think it was. 5th or 4th. I think it was 5th. And I'm going to sit on the fence of Liverpool. I'm going to wait. I could easily put them in 4th or 3rd and just be like, yep, they'll be back, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see how they go first. I'm just going to sit back. If they go really well, then I'll say, I was wrong about Liverpool. But Salah is obviously the key. Alisson, probably the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. I think Liverpool, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as great as everyone says, but we'll see. We'll see how Liverpool do go. 5th, a controversial one here, Manchester United. I know it's a big call, but look, I think United were very good last season, but I think there's a little drop-off in United. They got away with a lot of lucky wins last season. Lot of lucky wins. Probably lucky to finish where they did. Well, they ended up in 3rd, was it? United 3rd. I think they ended up 3rd last year. Look, nothing against United. I just feel the other teams that I have above them are going to do a lot better this year. I'll get into them very soon. Obviously, I am a Chelsea fan. I will have Chelsea fairly high on the ladder, but I don't know, man. United, they're an interesting bunch. I'm really intrigued to see how they do go. Obviously, Bruno is going to be very important to them. It's going to be fascinating to see how United do go, but yeah, a bit of a controversial one, and a lot of people won't agree, but I've got them in 5th. Top 4, here we go. Obviously, I'm going to put Chelsea in the top 4. They're my team. Of course, I'm putting them in the top 4. I mean, I could be a biased prick and put them first, but I know that we're probably not going to win the Premier League this year. Look, Chelsea last year was a disaster. It was a fucking failure, to be completely honest. We came 12th. We were dog shit. We got rid of a lot of players in the offseason, man. We let go of Havertz. We let go of one of my favourite players, Mason Mount. But yeah, now it's obviously Enzo Fernandez's team. He has to stand up and dominate. He's obviously on shitloads of money. So, look, if Chelsea don't fucking improve this year, then it'll just be so bad. I think top 4 is the goal. I think that'll be the goal. I mean, considering last year, I know we were 12th, and some will say, oh, you finished 8th, it's an improvement. No. Chelsea's a huge club. They need to be right up there. They need to be going good. They can't be finishing 6th and 8th and be happy with that. I think the manager that we got, I think he's going to be fantastic. I think things are going to go a lot better. Still worried about that we don't have a great striker. So, look, I'm intrigued. I'm excited a little. I am quite excited for Chelsea. Like, I'm just having a look at who our striker is going to look like. I'm just having a look at the squad here, and we do have Lukaku back. We've got Lukaku. Now, we didn't have Lukaku last year, but Lukaku's back. We've got Sterling. Conor Gallagher's one of my favourite Chelsea players at the moment. I'm in love with Conor Gallagher. He probably is my favourite. I know Silva's our best player, but look, I think it's going to come down to Conor Gallagher and Fernandes. They're going to be the key. Nicholas Jackson. Is he our striker, is he? Oh, he is too. Well, Lukaku's also back, and it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we have a good season, man. Chelsea to come 4th. Don't care what anyone says. We're going to improve. 3rd, Arsenal. Fucking Arsenal. Look, I can't stand these pricks. I despise them, but they're just that good. They're going to be hard to beat. They really are going to be hard to beat, Arsenal. I think they could potentially, compete with Manchester City again, but we'll see what happens, man. I think them getting Havertz is a fucking good pickup too, I must admit. Jorginho, a good player to have there. They got Saka. Fuck me, dead. Hard to beat. If Arsenal aren't in the top 3, it'd be a huge disappointment. So Arsenal will come 3rd. 2nd is a very bold one, and I'm high on Newcastle United. Maybe I'm too high on Newcastle United. We'll see what happens. But I'm telling you, Newcastle United are going to have a fucking good season. I think they're going to really improve. I think they're going to be the biggest shock. They've got a lot of money. They still need to spend some money. I think they're in for a huge year. I really do. I could be too high on them. Obviously, Alexander Isaac's very important to them. Callum Wilson. I'm keen on them, bro. Harvey Barnes. Yeah, I'm fascinated by Newcastle. I think they're going to be the biggest threat to Man City. I really do. And I'm going to say it again. I believe Newcastle United are going to be the biggest threat to Manchester City this season. So we'll see. But I've got Newcastle in 2nd and obviously 1st. They'll win it again. Manchester City, they'll win the Premier League once again. I hope they don't win it again. I hope someone like Newcastle beats them or gets enough wins. It's not surprising. City are going to be tough to beat, man. It's going to be tough, but yeah, Newcastle, Manchester City, sorry. They are going to come 1st once again, and they will probably win the Premier League again. But hey, the only thing stopping them is probably some injuries. So we'll see. We will see what happens. It's their comp to lose. All right. And before we go, we're going to get into the Premier League Week 1 predictions. Obviously, it starts in 5 hours and 8 minutes. That's when the Premier League season begins. And the season opener begins with Manchester City and Burnley. It's a Burnley home game. Burnley versus Man City. Let's get into it. I'm just looking for something here. Bear with me. Apologies about that. All right. Now, I'm gonna give you guys the time zone, obviously for where I am here in Australia, and because I know a few people in the UK might watch this, so the time zones are just crazy. But here we go. Season opener in 5 hours time. Burnley against Man City. 5 a.m. kickoff. Man City are $1.30. Burnley at $9.25. My prediction for this one, look, I think City win, and I think City start the year off with a very comfortable win. I'm going to go Man City to win. First game might be closer than people think. Nah, I'll go Man City 3-0. That'll be too good. Man City to beat Burnley 3-0 in the season opener. Next game, 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night. We've got Arsenal up against Nottingham. Arsenal $1.20. Nottingham at $14. $14 for Nottingham. Ridiculous odds. Arsenal will be far too good. Again, they could be a bit slow out of the gate because it's the season opener, but I'll go Arsenal 2-0. 2-0 for Arsenal. They'll be winning against Nottingham. I'll be surprised if they don't win. But yeah, Arsenal to get the job done there. Next game. Now, I think this game's at midnight. Yep, 12 a.m. So, Saturday night, going into Sunday morning for us here in Australia. Midnight this game is. 12 a.m. We've got Bournemouth up against West Ham. West Ham are actually the favourites here. $2.60. Bournemouth $2.65. So, West Ham favourites by 5 lousy cents. This will be close. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go Bournemouth. Bournemouth to win 1-0. I'm going to go for Bournemouth. Bournemouth at home. I reckon they're going to start the year off with a win. So I'm going to go Bournemouth 1-0 over West Ham. But we'll see what happens. Next game, we've got Everton versus Fulham. Everton are favourites at $2.20. Fulham at $3.25. This game's also at midnight, 12 a.m. I think this is going to be a draw. I think this might be the first draw of the season. Everton are going to draw with Fulham. I reckon it'll be a 1-1 draw. Both teams will get a goal each, and that'll be the end of that. So Everton, Fulham to be a 1-1 draw. All right, next game. This is the final game at midnight, actually. Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. What are the odds? Palace, $2.40. Sheffield at $3.10. Pretty good value for Sheffield, especially at home. But I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go with draw. Sheffield and Palace, I'm going to go a 0-0 draw. 0-0. 0-0 draw. I don't think every team will score a goal. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being like a 2-2 type game or something. But I'll go a 0-0 draw between Sheffield and Crystal Palace. But we'll see what happens there. All right. Oh, no, there's one more game at midnight. Sorry, almost got that wrong. We got Brighton against Luton. Jesus Christ. Brighton $1.30. Luton at $9.75. Look, Brighton are going to kill them. I'll go Brighton 3-0. Luton are going to get smoked. Welcome to the Premier League, Luton. You're going to get your ass whooped. Not a good way to start your Premier League season, but yeah, Brighton will win 3-0. Now let's go to the next game. And you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the game of the week. Week 1 of the Premier League, I think this might be the game of the round, guys. We've got Newcastle United up against Aston Villa. Newcastle $1.75. Aston Villa at fucking $4.50. It's ridiculous odds. I think Newcastle are going to get away with this. I think this is going to be really close. I'm going to go Newcastle to win 2-1. I think it'll be the best game of the week 1 of the Premier League. And I'm telling you, Aston Villa won't be any pushovers. Both these teams like to attack. So I'm going to go Newcastle 2-1 in a really good game. Next game we got here, we got Brentford up against Tottenham. This game is 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Sunday night. So this is going into Monday morning here. 11 p.m. Brentford versus Tottenham. Both teams are $2.50 each. Even money bet. This is hard for me to pick. Tottenham just lost Harry Kane. How much is that a distraction to the team? Oh, you know what? I'm going to go with draw. 2-2 draw. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, 2-2 draw. I reckon I reckon that game's got a draw written all over it. Brentford to win. All right, 2 more games to go. Monday morning, 1:30 in the morning. I'll definitely be watching this. We got my boys, Chelsea, up against Liverpool. Liverpool are actually favourites here, believe it or not. $2.40. Chelsea, $2.80. You think I'm going to go against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the season opener? Ain't no way. Chelsea will win. This will be really close. Again, it's probably got a draw written all over it. The experts will probably call it a draw, but I'm going to back Chelsea in. I'm going to go Chelsea to win 2-1. I think this is going to be a really good game. But yeah, Chelsea to win 2-1 against Liverpool should be a good game. And the final game of week 1, we've got Manchester United up against the Wolves. This is Tuesday morning, actually, 5 a.m. A very ugly time slot. United are $1.30. Wolves are at $10. $10 for the Wolves. That's ridiculous. I think United will win, but I think the Wolves will be competitive. I'll go United 2-0. 2-0. All right. So that's the ladder prediction and the week 1 predictions out of the way. Guys, thank you very much for watching the Premier League season preview. Apologies about the late stream. I don't like doing streams too late. But sometimes, when it comes to the Premier League, you just got to. I haven't had a chance to do it all week. I wanted to do it on Monday, but shit happens, I guess. But anyway, thank you for watching the Premier League 2023-2024 season preview, plus the week 1 predictions. I'll be doing predictions for each round, actually, on the Premier League, tips and whatnot. So make sure to tune into that next time. But thank you all for watching. Enjoy your night, and go Chelsea. Until next time, see you later. Chelsea are going to win the Premier League.